I think we do. I don't know. There's something weird because it flashes red, but then I'll be switches once.
Looks like there's an error. For me anyhow.
Pass. It was out on YouTube, but it wasn't recorded, so that I had just watched out.
Are we set?
Where's that?
All right, we'll call to order the Lamberton City Council regular meeting at City Hall for September 11th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. First thing is additions or deletions to the agenda.
Okay, so we're gonna delete the citizen complaint. And then just to the RCA, we're gonna add Sweetman sanitation. Then under general business, building and zoning, we're gonna add Clayton Sense. And then at the very end, we are going to go into closed session for an HR item.
Anything else?
Not much to do.
Somebody want to make a motion to approve the agenda?
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We opposed? Agenda accepted. Consent agenda, approval of the minutes for 8/14/2020. 2023 regular city council minutes. And the July 25th. 2022 regular EDA minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
They opposed? Motion carries. General business. Is there any other citizens' complaints or concerns? What he's here for? We'll move on to building and zoning permit. Which we have the ones.
Like, now I don't want to explain. He asked that Clayton go get permission.
Yeah, when, after our last council meeting, Clayton got a hold of us and was concerned about this or still wanted to do this. You know, did everybody remember that basically wanted to put the driveway where the alley is and come in from the west to what would be his new garage. Well, we had talked at the last council meeting that did not meet what his building permit actually was. So we told him to submit a new picture of what he was planning, and that's this top page here of what he's planning now. Justin, you went out and marked all the right of ways or whatever it was, or
I marked his property line, yep, and then like the alley and all that. And then he had to do his setbacks from my flags, so.
yeah, and so the other thing is on the discussion on the phone with him when he called me is I told him, you know, one of our other concerns was how are all the other people on the block gonna feel about this? So I told him the best thing he could do is basically approach them all with like a letter or something. And basically get them to sign off that they're okay with this. Now, he called me earlier tonight and said that he had got everybody except for one person. Right north of Al and Denise, I think. that house right there.
Oh, Steve, okay. Yep.
So that's the only one that he said he's tried and they don't answer the door and all of that good stuff. So it's basically back down to, do we want to allow him to put the driveway basically where the alley is? And he would have to understand that that basically becomes our property then, but he's got to take care of it.
The one thing
That would be
drawing
correct.
that he has, the garage is a 30 by 40. I think this lot is only 40 feet wide at that back end.
Yeah, so he would have to stay in the setbacks and everything.
Well, you
You know.
can do a 48-foot garage.
Right, so he's probably gonna have to make it smaller, which,
What was the ease or the? What did he ask for?
that easement, or not easement, but the variance.
Variance, there you
The
go.
variance was to go within 3 feet of the north side of the lot, I believe.
The north property line.
Yes.
Still the alley setback and the right of way setback.
Right.
South side are still,
Right, so he could cheat a couple feet to the north from the 5 feet to the 3 off that. I'm saying that right, because we looked that day
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I believe it was just
Yeah.
the 3 feet off the north side of his lot. But to me, that's a matter of when he starts laying it out, like you're probably gonna have to go check and just make sure he's within those.
says on the side lot has to be 10 feet off the right of way, right? Correct with that?
Didn't we already approve a size of a building?
No,
We
Didn't approve of the building permit yet?
we
Yeah.
did the building permit
Okay,
and that,
so is that-
that's why we asked for this picture was because what
Right.
he was talking about doing didn't match his building permit.
Right,
So,
but also we've already only given approval for that size of building.
He didn't have a size on.
He didn't have
Oh,
a
yeah,
size
did,
on it.
32 by 40.
yeah, so this is actually smaller than what he was proposing before. But he had it facing on that original one, he had it facing the county road instead of the alley. And like I said, when he started asking for this, we were saying, well, that doesn't match the building permit, because what's he gonna do? Come in and drive around the building and go in? So we asked for a new picture of what he was planning. And then Justin went out and marked basically the right of way so that he would have to stay out of those.
we have some idea of where the lines were.
Right. Now, I didn't read through all these letters that Val but he basically said everybody okayed it, like I said, except for the one house that he couldn't get it a hold of.
People just their concerns on there.
So it's just a matter of, do we want to let him?
Well, it looks pretty unanimous, as far as the rest of the neighbors go, so. I don't have a problem with it, I guess, I don't know, everybody else.
My only concern is 5 years down the road, 8 years down the road. 7 years, 490 days,
And the
Yeah.
next block and the next time.
is that, oh, it's, well, my alley, end of my driveway, and that's an alley, it's all full of potholes.
Hmm.
There needs to be something,
What I was curious about it when I was thinking about this today is, okay, so when we changed that he could go within 3 feet of the property line, we recorded that with the assessor. I kind of feel like, okay, if we're gonna do something like that, maybe it needs to be recorded with the assessor so that owners in the future know that this is an alley. And that sort of thing. I mean, and I don't know what
The thing is owners in the future are gonna say it's an alley. Why do we have to maintain it?
I don't think any of this changes. I took this picture shortly after our last council meeting. I got home one night and we had discussed right across the street from me between Bonnie and her parents' old house, that there's an actual alley there that's kind of the same situation. And somebody drove across that alley So it does happen, you know, it's
I think
grass.
That was REC did that
Yeah, it's,
to access the power line. That's
okay.
why they did it.
But people do drive on that one too. There is a curb cut out there, but you know, in general, people don't use it. It's an abandoned alley, but people do drive on it occasionally. So it can happen. You know, to me, he's gonna do this. If anything, we would just have him sign a thing that says, once he does this, it's no longer his property. He's gonna have to maintain it because we're not gonna change our stance on it's like a minimum maintenance road. We're just not doing it. And so whatever is there is there. And, you know, he's not gonna own that. He can't block people from using it either then. Because it is technically a public alley. So,
It just worries me that. Yeah, down the road. How stuff gets lost, you know, on.
yeah,
We're gonna assume that we're not gonna, you know, block it and this and that. Well, no, I've been parking there for 10 years. I can park there, you know, that's what worries.
but
I'm not
he.
saying you're wrong or whatever.
He shouldn't be parking in the actual alley, even with this thing, you know, he shouldn't just pull in there and park. That would be like me on mine, just pulling in and blocking the alley. I have no right to block the alley.
No,
He would still have no right here to block that alley, to me. You know, so to me, none of that changes, because if he does it, he's in the wrong, but. So,
I don't think we should pay for the curb cut out.
no, and he's already said that he would, well, when he talked to me, he said. You know, that was just a shot in the dark thing, but he does not expect us to pay for that, so he's dropped that portion of it.
I still have concerns of snow removal. I know his letter said it wouldn't be on other homeowners' property, but where's it gonna go?
No,
Cause the alley technically is another homeowner's property, so is it just gonna get pushed forward into a big pile? And then that could be an issue for homeowners with
So-
melting and where it goes and,
Yeah,
you know.
like this last week, I had a homeowner come in complaining about gravel in their yard from when he plows. And it's a gravel road. Well, there's really not much we can do. I mean, it's a gravel road. You're gonna run into that same problem with this.
yeah, there's no perfect scenario here.
And is he
So-
still gonna wanna do it when the garage can't be that size?
And what size can it be? That's my concern, is how far off of that curb does it have to be?
This is 15 feet.
Yeah,
Because if you said that what's the whole length of that?
40 on the very back end is about 40.
So if he's got to stay 3 feet from this side. And how far from this?
You said 15?
15.
I mean,
we've basically told him already that he can't, we don't want him going any closer to the curb than his house is, the corner of his house there. So, which I think is close anyway to the,
That runs at an angle to that lot, does it?
Yeah.
yeah, it's a goofy.
Yeah, it's
Pie,
Goofy lot.
half a pie section.
it was tricky to get it marked out.
It actually goes kind of more like
Mhm.
that than,
And really, the edge of his house is about 14, 15 feet, and that's just by going off these images, which isn't gonna be precise, but.
But then if you do that, you have 15 feet. Then you got 3 feet,
So you're down to 32 feet. Or
and it's gotta be 10
no,
feet off the
20,
alley,
I can't math
Right.
today, I guess.
so then it gets a little bit deeper.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
If you're
right.
10 feet,
The measurements there are off that right of way line or whatever. Approximately, right? That you're doing not to the curb. It's
Right.
off the right of way, edge of the right of way already. So,
No, I have it off the curb.
get it up with the concept.
so if he put the building the same as the corner of his house, he'd be technically fine or close to it.
It'd be 5 feet off the line. Roughly, the way it looks there.
5 feet off the right of way line.
Correct. Be only a 5 foot setback.
So that'd be 8, so
One of the
32.
homeowners was concerned about increased usage just because they don't want people using it. You know, they don't,
Yep,
In their defense, they're not going to be able to use it. Because there's a tree in there that's about 150 years old, right in the middle of it, on the other side of
okay,
Clayton's lot, but trees die and,
get cut down and.
you know,
People drive around it.
or people drive around it, you know.
So I think we should just basically take a vote on this and either a yes or no and be done with it. And I don't know that I suppose we need an actual motion on this. I don't,
Yeah,
we should either way. So,
I'll make the motion as long as he goes according to setbacks. I would make a motion, he's allowed to build it.
anybody care to second that?
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed?
I,
So we'll do a roll call. All in favor, we got four and Leah against. Motion carries. Now where are we at? Garbage contract with Central and Sweetman. So when did the contract actually expire then? When was that?
Well, we're still kind of honoring this.
Okay,
yeah, it's been something that I haven't been able to find since I've started. What was really there or what was supposed to be there. It's just been kind of one of those things that. I don't know what to tell you.
well, I remember them coming through a few times, because when did we go with West Central?
10 years ago.
Was it been that long ago?
it's been a while.
That's been, time flies by, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking that we were still the other one when I got on, but apparently not. So this is a copy of that we put out as a proposal or what?
No, this is South Central, that's their current contract. The stuff in yellow is just the changes that they've made or those changes. And then exhibit A. The rates.
What are? So these, I thought these rates were what our current one was. No,
No, these are the new rates. It's about 21 cents. A household pickup, so it's about $66.15 is what it will raise a month. And then annual increases based on the CPI.
Just want the opportunity to come before the council and talk about increases. As you know, the last 3 years has been hard for everybody, so. It's just, we're all going through it with the inflation and training and as a government. Hopefully it comes through then and we all come through this pretty good, but it's been tough for everybody. All the businesses have been seeing price increase, all of our households have. ARPA did go up on the disposal. It was at $12 a ton, I think, $12 a ton in January. So that is we take your trash to Redwood Falls to Archblock, and that did go, they did raise that price, the disposal cost for your trash. Around about 1% of their rate Yeah, so it's a 20% increase.
One of the, if I may, one of the language changes was that CPI was capped at 4% a year. With, rollovers, because CPI right now is above 4%. And of course, we all saw that large spike. We're hitting 9% recently. But we want to keep it capped for you because we know city government like stability. And then that language, if there's any confusion on it, is simply it's capped at 4%, and then let's say the next year is 3%, but the year before it was 5%, So then we just capture that 1% that we did the last year and keep it at 4%. And if it dips, then you get the credit for that. So that thing.
And we would still come before the council for those increases. So we're working on that.
And waste and recycling have nothing to do with each other.
No, recycling is, they contract directly with the county.
The $371 per household. Is that what we bill them or?
No, we bill $550. That's our current rate right now.
But that's not part of the bill that you guys send out.
No, they bill just for
Okay.
the containers.
Yep.
We bill for the drive-by.
And so in. Okay. And so we would continue to do that.
Yeah. And I guess, I don't know, what do your other towns do? I know Lamberton's weird that way, I guess.
Lamberton is unique.
Okay,
In
unique.
that it's, half the bill is kind of sent to every house and they fill it, they pay, to your houses, and then the other half goes directly to the city, and the city writes a check. So since we're just honoring that old contract, what we propose is just continuing that. And if you want something different, we could.
Is it beneficial to do that in any way, shape, or form, or is it more confusing on our end? Is it?
And so I think it's only confusing for new people in town, just because they're not used to, and really some of our new people in town, just because they lived on the farm, they didn't have garbage, so then it's that, but it's not.
You might go back 2 years ago. All volume fees for a while, and some companies had a drive-by fee, and then they could buy a colored bag, at the grocery store or wherever, the city hall, and then they put it on. So that drive-by fee was gonna ensure that a service went to every home in every town, in the town every week. And then people would put out a volume-based bag and pay for that bag. And it kind of stems off that, but everyone went to carts, by 20 years, started going to carts 15, 20 years ago at least. And so it kind of homogenized into what you have today.
Yeah, it just seems weird that we play middleman with the money.
Right. I mean, it's not a big deal for me on my side of it all. I do think it is confusing for people as far as, one like getting a separate bill, and I'm like, well, that's just for the cart. And that's quarterly, that kind of thing, but,
Because it's right on the utility bill, right?
right,
So it's not a separate mail-in or anything.
no, it's just something we bill out and then we pay them once a month, so. Weird, yeah. So now Sweetman's, they want to talk to,
Yeah, so we did it both ways, current way of the drive-by fee, which that goes back to the career sanitation day, so. We've up here, we've got all the red and blue bags and get a drive-by fee, that's what it goes back to. But we did propose both options, current way, which is the drive-by fee. Plus then the residents would pay the other portion of that fee. And then we also bid it where the only people that pay drive-by fee are those that just wanted bag service, because there are quite a few in Lamberton that still have bag service. Surprisingly, I think there's probably 40, 50 people that have bag service. So those people would still get billed a drive-by fee, but they'd be the only ones billed a drive-by fee. And then the rest of them would pay by the cart, 35, 65, 95 gallon cart. And there's a benefit to that. Lower, probably total price was $1 a home because it saves on billing. So if the city would be willing to bill them for their size cart based on what size cart they have, and then admit that, and then not have the middleman, just have one of us do it. It does save. So we bid it both ways. So we'd still keep the bag service because I know it's important in Lamberton because there's a lot of people that have pretty little trash, whether it be elderly or whatnot. They do have a considerable amount of people that have that service still.
I don't know if I'd want to bill out containers,
Yeah,
just because I think that would be,
and we could do the billing on the containers too, but it's one of us or other will do it, so. Then that would just take that middleman out.
yeah, which would be nice, but then it's like when they change containers or whatever, people move and blah, blah, blah. It's like,
My question. I guess I'm looking at it from the straight side of it.
That gonna be the question.
You know, I know what you guys have, you know, front load trucks, whatever, and I understand why, it's efficient and you can move it. What are you guys running for trucks?
We have a 20-yard rear load.
So you'd go, be like the old days.
Yep. Pick up both sides at the same time.
Boom, 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 so it'll be one pass down the street. With eventually trying to switch over to,
Someday, maybe, yeah, but right now we just do everything with the rear load, so.
so there's some. On the maintenance side of it, that makes, I like that. Because that's just one less trip down the street.
We were here, what, 3 years ago on that topic.
Yeah.
When we were down that topic, we brought the DOT studies, and there are many city engineers that will attest to the fact that the rear load truck actually puts more pressure per square inch on the rear axle than the front load if the tag axle's down. I mean, and so there are many DOT engineers, even this year, that have come to that conclusion in the metropolitan area, and I could provide you with those studies.
Yeah, and I believe that 100%, but there's a difference between Lamberton roads and metropolitan roads and the center of our streets versus the outsides of our streets. Big difference, you know, and every community is different, and I'm not, you know, I'm just saying that. But you guys have, like, we have a couple streets in town where it's, we made the agreement that everybody's gonna put their stuff on one side. The truck backs down, picks them up, you know, that all helps. So I mean, I'm just saying, we've done multiple things to try to help with that too, you know, I'm not gonna say that you haven't by any means.
the one thing I did not ask about. Justin. There was something to do with, there's a different rate for.
Temporary dumpsters.
Temporary dumpsters. And
Is that in? Your guys's,
no, it's not.
Proposal.
I don't believe it is.
I believe it used to be $20. For that temporary dumpster.
So what happened is Valerie, of course, didn't have a copy, neither did we, because I asked and she said, no, I don't have it. So we pulled up an old thing and we typed it. And so, Lamberton did have special rates for dumpsters, and we can still include that. It was just an oversight on the retyping, and so we recreated it all. So I didn't see that in that original copy.
Yeah, I mean, that,
And is that a temporary dumpster just for the city or for
residents.
residents of the
Yeah.
city?
You have a red dumpster?
Yes, we have temporary dumpsters as well.
That'd be the, you know, another thing too, and what your guys' each rate would be for that, and like. Again, it's a temporary, so there might be a time limit. And it's expectation of, so both parties know,
That's the
How
like
long do you
dumpster, like
keep
if a household just needs a dumpster
great,
to
Yeah.
clean out whatever and. Okay.
But they can go wherever to get those, right?
Right.
That's so,
Free, I mean, free choice.
right,
Right.
so
Individual
that's something they
wise.
would,
Independent service type.
Throw in their pickup and take it to the dump too.
they would be basically dealing on that themselves, depending on who they call and.
But only, yeah, only certain
But if there's a set rate, that helps, I guess.
companies
Yeah, then you
service an
know,
area
you know,
though. I mean,
too, for them.
those temporary dumpsters, I would think would be kind of. Shall I say money pits just because of the extra travel and stuff. I would think they'd almost. have
These
to be
guys
more-
do them on Tuesdays.
Yeah,
They bring them in, drop them off on Tuesdays and then pick up following week on Tuesdays, but how this currently works with.
We got some just out, we got a couple out of town in Lamberton too. Dietrich said one of them.
with the town.
So have you done the math on the difference on these?
no. 'Cause I'm kind of confused on how the Sweetman,
I did for 95 gallon cart.
And what is it?
Oh, Sweetman would be 13.50 and West Central is 13.99. We're going with the 1028 cart rate and then the 371 per household. Total cost to the resident would be those. And then,
But we actually charge the 550, right?
Mhm.
But,
and
like-
but
so-
that wouldn't change anything in general. Still be that difference.
so then it would be
So 40.
15.78 is what we're currently
so
charging
40,
versus 13.50. Cause that would be the 9.50 for the 95
so the
gallon,
difference is
and-
49.
the $4.
Difference is 49 cents. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying it's $2.28.
Is it?
Well, I mean, if you're counting the 550 that we're actually charging, or are we gonna actually charge the 371?
Well, we've always charged 550.
So if we're gonna continue to charge 550, the difference then is $2.28 per resident.
But 550 would have to get
No,
added. to
no,
that.
because they're going to bill
We're
them.
still charging.
Why would we charge? We would not be paying Sweetman the drive-by fee. They would be billing the individual resident,
So we're
the
gonna,
$4.
so
So we wouldn't have to charge them anything.
the city of Lamberton is gonna lose that from 550 to 371 a month.
Yeah, I think you keep that up subsidized.
So we're gonna lose that, is what you're saying?
If we did it this way, if we went with the option one, yes, of where
What
Sweetman
does that come
bills.
to a year that we're gonna basically lose out of the general fund?
And if we build it for you, we wouldn't take that either, right now, we
Right.
keep that, so.
You see what I'm saying? Because we collect that now, the difference between 371 and 550. And if we say we're not collecting that, that's
Then we're-
basically money out of the general fund.
dollars.
We're currently collecting 550 for a drive-by fee and
Right.
paying
371.
371 for the
Right.
drive-by fee.
There you go.
Our option one is you guys still doing the $4.
Yeah.
Yep, and the 950, which comes to 13.
And what I'm saying is if we're gonna maintain what we have to add from $4, another $1.50.
Right, so it'd be
Wait, so
15.
you're saying option one is, I thought it said it, you bill
Option-
residents.
Option one is similar to what it is today. The other option, which is the 1250, that's us billing.
Okay, it's written the other way around. Says option two, 1250 Lamberton bills residents.
Yeah.
Option one, Sweetman bills residents.
We bill the 950, just like West Central bills right now, residents too. Plus we get the $4 drive-by fee,
Plus you would bill that.
go to the city. just like
Okay, yeah,
it is
that,
today.
okay, it just says Sweetman bill, so I just assumed that you would then bill all of it. So the city would still bill.
Right.
Okay,
Should
so
come
then it would
around, what,
be,
6,000 a year?
Yeah, 67, 66.
950 plus if we want to continue to charge the 550. Yeah, 15 even. And then we would be retaining $1.50
Basically, you'd be losing
78 cents difference.
29.
And then. Oh, that's math.
Be 29 cents.
$1.38, we'd be retaining $1.38 then with. West Central, and then retaining $1.50.
Right, 29 cents per household difference.
29 cents.
$1.50.
That's the number I was looking for, so.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, we're both selling right now, so we have one last little sales pitch, actually.
Yeah.
I suppose, what you get for your dollar, you've been here 10 years, you know the town, I hope you appreciated the service. We got a driver that lives in town named Rob Stoppel, he's really proud to live here and service the town too, because he services it every other week, and sometimes it's the last thing he does before he comes home, parks the truck, and then heads out the next day. But, I know if there was anything like a service mistake, he'd call me, was right here, he'd get you type thing too, so. I know he really appreciates living here and serving you too, so we get a driver in town is part of it, I suppose, too.
We have a very stable team in Redwood Falls. Some of them been with us 10 years, more than 5 for most of them. And we have a large team that backs up, we've been in business 44 years. And so it's not practice for us. We know what we're doing. We'll do a great job for you. We appreciate the confidence you put in us so far. And yes, it's a slight increase, but ARSA did go up 20% on the landfill bill, which we have no control over. And you will pay that someday, somewhere or more. It will happen. And so, we've never put you through price increases that are unexpected. We've been very careful about that and cautious. And so your trust is important to us.
You guys, where are you based out of?
We have a yard in Redwood Falls and then just west of Redwood Falls and Echo. And I've hauled Lamberton trash back with Curry Sanitation back in the start of 1993. So I have a lot of experience with Lamberton with trash service, and then there's a couple other companies with waste management, West Central as well. So I know this town very, very well, been involved in this town a lot and the community as well. Being president of the Redwood County Chapter of Pheasants Forever, we're here all the time with the bingo events and things like that. So Lamberton's been a close community to me. So.
And how long have you guys been in business now?
We just started in business. So I've been in the trash industry, like I said, since early 90s, but we just started sweeping sanitation this year. So it's our first year in business.
Well, anybody got any suggestions or motions?
And is
Wanna
this
do?
something we have to motion on tonight, or
That's
that
what I
we
was
can
wondering. I just
discuss
feel like-
more at?
I would like to do a little bit more
At our work
calculations
session?
before I
Okay.
decide,
But don't have a problem. How would, if we did end up going with you guys? This, one of these contracts said valid September 11th day. So how would the changeover go on this between you two guys? How?
Well, with us, we'd have to obviously bring our carts in and swap carts out. So we have the carts on hand to be able to handle Lamberton. So it'd just be a matter of notice, and you gotta take us a day to deliver carts is all it would take us. So
What day of the week would remain on Wednesday?
yeah, we run on Wednesdays.
Time of day?
Be 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. in the morning start. Yeah.
Anybody else got any other questions? You guys want to wait and?
I want to make sure I'm understanding
Yeah, sure.
this. Okay, so with option 1, you had that where it said that Sweetman Sanitation bills residents, but then the drive-by fee of 4 per resident. So Lamberton bills that.
Yeah.
So on option 2, Lamberton would bill the residents
for all of it.
all of it.
Only one of us would bill the resident for one of it in that one. I had Lamberton doing the billing.
Okay,
She said she didn't know she wanted to do the billing. That's why I said we could work on that, but that's just one
Okay.
billing. So it's the whole thing together rather than having to add the 2 fees together. So that's why I did it. That's more in line with, I guess, what most cities do nowadays. It's just without having the two.
Well-
But it's fine doing it both ways. I just thought I'd throw out two
Yeah.
options.
That one's like a total price page, like no extras.
Okay.
Yeah, so the only
Just
ones. that
was
get the
reading
$4
differently for me,
right, yeah,
so.
and that one would be the people that still want to remain in the bank service.
Yeah.
And the big service now is just those tags they put on the top, right, for everybody. Which is a great idea. Easier than
It
bags.
makes more, so much more sense than
Yeah.
actual bags.
That works into. You guys, okay.
Haven't changed anything.
so we'll discuss it at the work session, which means anything we discuss there would have to get approved at the following meeting after that.
What dates are those?
We
Well, the
don't know
work session
yet.
is probably gonna be next week, Monday, Tuesday, one of those days, and then,
We're gonna schedule that tonight. That's on the agenda.
October tenth is the
Next
next meeting. Although we're gonna probably end up having a meeting by the end of September to do the budget, but that would just be a budget thing. That's up to these guys, otherwise.
So at the latest, October 10th, probably.
Yeah,
That's what you're saying?
Yeah, basically, yeah, October tenth would be the,
and if we discuss it at the work session, we can't vote on anything on the work session, so it's just. It would be October 10th would be the next vote that we would do, so.
If the council wants the opportunity to evaluate the two different ways to bill. Do we have an opportunity to respond? to that?
Yeah, you can
Okay,
email it to Val and then she'll get it to us for the,
Sure will.
yeah, cause I get it. Apples, to apples, oranges, to oranges, yep. And that
Okay,
helps us too, you know, to look at both. And decide. You're thinking
anything
next
else
week,
on
huh?
that? Pretty good,
Okay,
thank you guys.
you guys.
Thank you guys.
Hear you on the radio every once in a while.
Down here, you got.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
You guys.
Thanks for the update.
See ya.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Then the next thing we've got is contract with Redwood County Assessor's Office for the assessing services of 2023 through 2024.
So they didn't go up in their rates at all. Go until the 2025.
It's just to continue doing what we're doing.
Pretty, yeah, we made the switch last year, so now it's just kind of,
Staying with it.
I would make a motion to do that.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. RCA tax forfeited property sale.
yeah, so the horse house comes for sale Wednesday at 9 AM. I've had a couple people interested in it, or I've asked about it. Yes, I'm asking for us to be prepared. Purchase it, we would like to. If nobody else bids on it. I'm not gonna bid against somebody else that would want it, but if nobody bids. Then I just think we need to be prepared. There is county money out there to. Help cover costs if we were to demo it. I think there's 5,000 from the county out there. I don't know that house is that far gone. I don't know. That's something that, we'd have to determine afterwards, but,
That's the question I had was if we buy it, can we turn right around and sell it again? Okay. Cause I would say, as far as I'm concerned, if we can bid on it, if nobody else does. Buy it, see if we can make something out of it.
right. I guess that would be my. First choice, and then if we get into it and realize that it's not worth it, well then fine,
Yep.
but. Yeah, I don't think it's. Workable.
Yep.
So,
It's just kind of the prices.
well, and to me, it's just a matter of. Like you said, if nobody else bids on it, that's the only
Mhm.
So to me, it's just 1,000 plus the fees. Would be, if that's what they're setting at a minimum fee. Oh, a dumb question maybe, but are we better off not bidding on it and dealing with the county afterwards?
That I don't know. I mean, I've never been through it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the city. What happens is the city or the county sits on it until somebody comes in and is willing to pay,
Yeah.
you know, $1,000 or whatever, so.
That-
Historically, the county could sit on it indefinitely. Sometimes they'll turn around and gift it to cities.
Hmm.
You never know. And
We've not had that happen.
I guess I would think that. I guess my suspicion is that the current county commissioners would not be quick to give away an asset. Even one that doesn't have much value.
So, yeah, 1,000 is 1,000, but it's one of these things of, I don't remember a property going on that sale in Lamberton and not selling, no matter what shape it's in, but. So I think
What's the
it's,
one that Madonna and Justin bought? Was that Lingles or no? That wasn't Lingles.
Milne's, wasn't it?
Milne's.
yeah,
Wasn't it that one?
Yeah. That one was in tough shape by the time it.
No.
Got there.
yeah, so I guess. You know. If we're gonna make a motion on this, somebody should just make a motion to buy it for the minimum.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. By opposed? Motion carries, so it'd just be the 1,000 in fees and if somebody else bids on it, let them have it.
Perfect. The next one is camping fees. So next year, the 50th anniversary of Laura and this filed it. Get calls for people wanting to book already for next summer. And generally, we don't open it up until after the first of the year when we do our booking schedule. So I'm asking if we would like to do these rates now. Then, you know, let's into the rate schedule and then once there was no season, I can change the rates and then open it up for next year. It amounts to about a month, 6 weeks. But
Yeah, I think that'd be a good thing, actually, to have it out there early.
Yeah.
right, I mean,
Yep,
I do too.
yep.
it's not, the one thing that we have gotten the kickback back on is having the fees above and beyond. You know, we have our $25 rate and then they pay the convenience fees on top of that. So then we have to decide is if we just want to have it one rate and then we just pay all the fees out of that rate that they pay us, or do you want to keep it separate?
Is there a benefit to keeping it separate?
I would say personally, I would go with
The one rate?
one rate personally.
Right,
That's
right,
what
But
I,
it always drives me nuts. It's like, oh, you say this, but it's actually this.
Right,
Just
right.
build it into
Yep.
the price already.
right,
right. And I guess that's kind of where I'm at with that, is just building it into the price and being done and just, you know, we just have to be cognitive every year to make sure that we're covering our expenses. Is what it comes down to.
And I've never paid attention that we don't have picnic tables out there.
Oh.
That's just
what?
weird, right?
What now?
What says that there's picnic
picnic table
delivery
rent.
fee out there?
Oh, well, no,
Pickup
that's like in
fee and-
town if somebody wants. picnic
Oh,
tables,
I
we
thought you
do
were
that.
saying, I thought it was like, because it was on this list that it was out there. I was
No,
like, we don't have.
For
picnic
some
tables.
reason, this is where picnic tables are, but. I've been doing it wrong since I've been here. I just thought that we delivered them and they bring them back. But then I was told, no, that's not right.
You know, usually
So
you gotta go get
then-
it yourself.
Right, so. But then we have, you know, people that don't have means to do it, so then it's like, well. Maybe we should have a delivery fee. So that it's delivery
An
and
option.
pickup, yeah, you know, $30 or whatever each way. And if they wanna pay it, that's fine, but you know,
Yeah.
at least gives them an option.
Yep.
but.
Is this shelter reservation fee for shelters at Kuhar and here?
Yeah.
Both?
I have them both online, so people can just go online and do them.
So you are adding the primitive camping fee in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So currently we don't have primitive camping fees, and I do have people that ask, about going down there with a tent and stuff, and they're not using electric and water, but they are using the bathhouse
Right.
and garbage, that kind of stuff. So there should be some sort of fee.
I think every other campground does.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they're kind of registered too, so you know who's down there.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just one of those things, I guess, just never thought about.
Like to do that, so.
Yeah.
Is there a fire ring or anything though for the primitive?
Mm-mm.
I'm
There
just
are,
thinking of like
like-
Walnut Grove has the primitive also, but they actually have a ring fire for the fire there.
that we don't. We can do a designated primitive camping fire ring if you guys want to, that's not a problem.
Well, I'm just wondering like, how do you decide otherwise where you're gonna put it up? You just,
You can have a ring there and they'll light it right there.
That is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, and that's fine. I'm just saying if you're reserving
Yeah.
a spot,
Right.
how, and
How do
then
we
somebody.
designate the stop.
Right, how, what are they paying the $12 for, other than that, so that somebody else can pitch a tent and not pay the fee and really not, I mean.
Is it the part out back? Is that in the primitive part or what?
That's what we're calling the primitive part.
Okay.
Basically where there isn't site, you don't have electric and water.
Cause I've seen a couple tents right up front in between the river and the bathhouse,
Yeah, and there is actually power there.
okay,
Mhm.
And they actually paid because, they were using.
Okay.
There's 30 amp power there
okay,
and water, so.
Yeah, and those people have been paying the $25 or monthly
Okay.
fee and stuff. so-
yeah, and I don't know that, I just
Yeah,
happened to see
yeah.
the tents there and,
And it's just kind of a weird thing that's come up this year where, somebody's like, well, I'd like to take my kids down there, but.
Oh.
I really don't feel like charging them $25 for not using the same amount as these other people. So it's like, well, we should just have a separate rate and
Mhm.
have it be done.
Yeah, I think they look good in general. I would just go to the, cover the fees, raise the thing,
rate
and
to
the
include
rate and
everything.
include everything.
And they're still getting a significant discount. For doing a monthly.
I would make a motion to do the 24 with no add-on fees, 2024 rates with no add-on fees.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion on it?
And just to get it posted, to allow it to go out now.
Yeah. Once we close for this season. Well, maybe I can put it in now. I don't know. I'd have to learn. We'll see.
well, and not about the fees, but, my understanding is that we mow out there. What about all the extra stuff? Like trimming up, if you take a drive down through there, there's just maintenance that needs to be done, and it's not saying you guys aren't doing a great job, cause you are. But there's more maintenance that needs to be done down there. Like, is there money set aside for that, or,
Time issue,
okay,
that's kind of where we're at, that is. Issue. And it's on the plan, it's always planned to.
yeah,
We're gonna take the small little chunk and then, but then. Well, this year we lost the month of April, with flooding and all that,
mm-hmm.
so and that's what it is.
Yeah, well,
But-
and I understand you guys are super busy and you have been, especially with the trees and everything else going on. Otherwise, is there somebody else to pay to trim stuff up, to paint stuff up, that back sign is. There's something to do with that back sign. The dock didn't even get put out this year,
Well,
just little things like
yeah,
that,
we didn't
like,
put the dock out because there's nowhere to really put the dock to anymore. Since we took the dam out, put the riffles in. And then, that sign, that got busted by the floodwater.
mm-hmm,
So,
I
No,
get it all
totally
takes time.
understand.
You know, I don't want to take time away from you, but if we could get, you know, someone that's retired that just wants, you know, a couple hours a week or something to do something like that. I don't know.
No,
Just
I'm not
throwing it out
doing
there.
Between bus routes.
Well, I don't want to call people out. But there's a couple other people that are retired in the town that, you know, the guys that really put a lot of pride in their lawn or, you know, just to trim certain things up.
I
don't know.
Should basically be covered by the maintenance budget, so if something like that was to happen.
You know, and now you look at like this year, you know. Or next year, say. Okay, last year we took our money that we made off the camping, which had a very good year with camping, and we expanded the paths.
Mhm.
That's what we did last year with money. Well, maybe now next year, if we get a second. Part-time summer person that wants maybe 10 hours a week or something,
Right,
that all you do is school hour,
right.
you know, something like that, you know. It's something to explore, but that'd be something I think we talk about at work session or something like that, you know.
Yeah,
Start brainstorming some ideas like that, but last year we reinvested that money back into the park to expand it, you know, again.
yeah. And I just, you know, it's so much has been done down there to make it wonderful. I don't like to see it go downhill. I like to keep that high level of maintenance going on with that also.
Oh, definitely, I agree. It definitely needs way more attention
Than you guys have time for, and I get that.
we've been giving it, yeah, I mean, and then this year, we were down a guy for a while, you know,
Mhm.
it just.
Snowball,
Yep.
and took down all those trees, which made everything look lovely.
Yeah.
So, I totally understand what you're saying, and yeah, I think it's something that needs to be put on the work session, and all right, what's our priority here? And that's what we'll go for, you know.
All right, any other discussion? We got the motion and the second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. By opposed? Motion passes. Ruth Churchill utility bill.
Yeah, she had a leaky toilet, in her house, so her bill was quite a bit higher than it usually is. So she's asking for what we do for other people, where we give half, half the credit on an average, you know, take the bill, just take away the average and then divide it in half and give them credit.
That was 126.27 would be half.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion that that's what she pays.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Just make sure it's a one-time deal,
Yep.
you know that, so.
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. By opposed? Motion carries.
Can I ask the question about the last time that we did that?
Yep.
Because I happened to see it in the minutes and I was a little confused as to, did we take her whole bill last time?
I might have.
And I only asked that because I was looking through the checks or something to do with the budget. And I was just, it
Well,
looked different.
and her average was even lower than Ruth's, because she's only here a couple weekends a month. So that part of it would have looked different too.
Well. Because it said like garbage. And it said water leak forgiveness in this area in the check detail register, and I was just confused by it, that's all.
Not to look at that, I don't know.
So I just wanted to make sure if that's what happened, that we didn't do that again on this one.
Right,
If you guys
oh,
want,
there it is.
at the top up here.
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and that was one thing when I did it. I'm gonna take a look at that and
Okay,
relook at that one. I know when I did it at the end, I was like, well, wait, maybe I shouldn't take it from all 4 accounts. Then I was like, well.
and I just didn't remember seeing this on that one, so I'm like,
Right,
I'm just gonna
right.
ask when I have a second.
Yeah, we had a grand total, but I don't think we had it
Out.
itemized like that.
Yep. So no, it was nice that this one was.
Then we've got an RCA for library aid.
So we put out an ad to get a library aide position. I did not get any applications. I did talk to Chris as if she would be interested in help covering the library when need be. And she would be interested. But then it becomes, what do we pay her?
Where do we land then with hours and benefits and
Benefits? Well, I think what I would do is if like you knew it was a full week, it's as long as it's not consistent, you're fine. And then like on the weeks, like if she just has to cover a few hours or something, she can do this work over there. I mean, it's not like, you know, she couldn't do special projects over there for me. So,
then if she's doing this work over there, then it needs to be this wage.
right.
And then how are you gonna differentiate those two wages?
Well, that's just it. It's either one or the other. You know, in my mind, it's,
Well, technically, the right way to do it would be to bill the library for
her portion,
her portion, for the library portion
right?
of while she's there,
Yeah,
you know,
So we just keep paying her wage the whole time.
yeah.
But then bill the library for any hours
To,
yeah.
at the wage we're advertising at or something.
But yeah, we just have to be cautious of hours to make sure we're in compliance with.
Right. And I
Benefits
don't-
and
Yeah,
how many hours is she getting here?
it has about 15.
So it would take a lot of hours, cause you
Yeah.
gotta be what, 30? To start getting benefits?
32.
32,
Yeah,
so she'd have to double her time,
yeah,
yeah.
basically double.
You know, but if Alicia took a whole week off, well, it'd be
Right.
40 hours or we look at, you know.
But you go over an average of quarterly or yearly or,
I'm not positive.
How do they do that, man?
I'm not sure either. I don't know.
I think it's yearly, I think, don't they go the whole year?
I was thinking it was yearly too,
Yeah.
where it's like
Huh?
Yearly.
yearly,
Yeah.
yeah.
so it would have to run quite a few weeks that way to bump
Right,
it.
to make it really make a difference.
So 2080 would be 40 hours,
Then you gotta pay benefits.
Yeah,
That's what
but-
I asked.
but it'd be less than 2080, right? Because isn't 32 considered, or does it depend upon how you write it?
Depends on how you write.
Okay.
I mean,
And ours is 2080 for our pay scale. I'm assuming that's what you want.
Yeah,
Well, what she's saying is the state or the federal government says anything over, is it 32 hours or 30 hours is considered full-time, whether you
32.
consider it full-time or not, then you have to give benefits.
Oh,
So that's kind of where so you have to
on a consistent basis, though.
yearly average, so it would take a lot
Yeah,
of,
I just wasn't sure what she
Right.
was, where she
it
was
would take
at.
a lot.
That's the only thing that came up in my mind. And then would your plan be to pull her back?
If they
Plan
do
B,
hire someone.
would your plan?
yeah,
Be then to pull her back if you do hire someone? I mean, that we'd continue looking and this is just a,
right. Just
Temporary
temporary,
fix.
just give some relief to Alicia if she wants it and, you know,
keep her from getting overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd make a motion to approve that.
I would second that.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in,
you're saying pay at
Her
clerk rate or
yeah.
assistant clerk rate.
And then build
And
the
then-
library for the library aid rates.
any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Then we've got the police department RCA.
Yeah, so Chief Walker, he knows he can't leave us out to dry, because then we're done, because we don't have anybody that has a license that we can have run the police department. But he would like to give it up sooner rather than later. You know, he took his job up in Canby. And he's supposed to have 4 other officers and has none. So, you know, he's burning the
Wow.
candle at both ends, and I respect that, but he won't just leave us, so that's good too. But I feel like we need to start advertising again just to see if we get anything. And it's in the Post, it doesn't cost anything. It's just, we need to start looking at our options. I did contact Walnut Grove. And they were gonna talk about it, but they do have a full-time person starting in October. But I haven't heard back from them as far as their interest in sharing.
And they have a meeting tonight, I know.
Yeah, so,
Maybe they'll talk about it. I don't know.
right. And it's just one of those things where, Josh looks at it as that would be the most ideal, we're the two communities furthest from Redwood that struggle to keep a police chief or police officers, if we could combine somehow or help each other out somehow, that's maybe something we really need to look at.
I think we should buy a house and give it to the county to use for a deputy's house. And
There you go.
then we'd probably get the covered sandbar.
We got the horse
right
house.
now, so.
That's what I was actually gonna ask is.
No, we already did that.
This thing with the sheriff's department, I wonder if there are any, a year or two, or we've been going through this every year forever,
Yeah.
literally forever. And I was curious if, I wonder if the sheriff's department has got it, they were looking for help too, and it's just a shortage everywhere.
Yeah, I forget how many, there's like 400 and some jobs open on Post, and that doesn't even include Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Right,
right.
right.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, if Walnut would be interested, that's definitely something that I would certainly think it would be practical,
Yeah.
for, especially like we said, this end of the county. Otherwise, I don't know that. I'd like to see what the sheriff's department says again, just to see where they're at.
Mhm.
Like Dale said, if we had a house, is there some way we can work something like that? That would be more than ideal, having a deputy living in town.
I've seen the deputy in Sanborn a lot, so.
Yep.
He lives right off the golf course there.
Yep.
so.
Yep.
It's-
Years ago, they used to live, they were scattered throughout.
Every
the
town had one.
County, exactly, yep. And it would be nice to have a squad car whistle around town once in a while, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And even
we,
if people have relatives that, we could hire to come down, once
Yep.
a month or whatever.
Yep,
There's opportunity out there, but.
yeah, yep. We had talked about that one that was moving in over here. Did that ever materialize?
I've left him messages, but I haven't gotten a response.
well, the one thing I think we have to do is we have to change our pay scale.
Mhm.
And that's the problem, quite frankly, with hiring a full-time is most of these that are hiring full-time are way above what we've
Yep,
been
Yeah.
willing to pay.
Yeah,
But it's getting to the point now of even the part-time, everybody is paying part-time so much more than we are,
mhm,
that,
yep,
right. And I have a wage study that's due, I believe, right after the first of the year, so that's something that's coming up that will get done here. And we can change it before then too, but that's gonna happen now too.
yeah, so I think this is the best. It's not a fix, but we just as well advertise and see if there's somebody out there that wants to and all the other scenarios we
Yep.
can go through, but we should
Yep.
just advertise and see what happens, and
okay.
you never know. So somebody want to make that motion?
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion on it? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Are you opposed? Motion carried. RCA to set a work session date, time and content.
So we had talked about like next week or the week after becomes homecoming, so that just kind of gets muddy. So next Monday or Tuesday. There is a volleyball game, so it's kind of thinking about Monday.
Monday would work. The problem is I've already committed to making pizzas for the ambulance at 6.
Okay,
So you guys could start without me and I could,
come in.
I could
Come
be,
in if that
I'm
works for
actually got a
everybody.
commitment that night, this coming Monday.
Mhm.
I do earlier. I don't know what time, what time would you think?
Well, I was thinking 5:15, but we could make it late too. We can start at
Unless-
6 too.
Unless I could probably come in early. I probably won't have to leave then. Why don't we just do that? 5:15 works for me.
Okay.
That
How about
sounds
for the
good.
rest
And
of
I'll,
you?
Yep.
I'll get here when I can.
Yep.
So let's, let's just well set the agenda items. Got budget,
Yeah, and then we'll have to do a public meeting to adopt the preliminary 2024 budget by the end of September. I'd like to talk about doing a public meeting for the swimming pool. And then probably the only ordinance we'd get done is the animal ordinance.
And then garbage.
Oh, garbage contract.
and because we don't vote on it, I mean, the agenda is important, but we can talk about other subjects too, because we don't vote on anything that night, so. If we do get more time, that's. All right, somebody want to make a motion to set the work session for the Monday, September 18th at 5:15 in the council chambers and the agenda items for now.
I'll go ahead.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. By opposed? Motion carries. Okay, department reports. The first one is library.
See anything?
Okay, ambulance,
Nothing.
fire.
I'll hang this real quick. I can give you an update. I did meet with him, and John Lavas's emergency coordinator. We are going to be presenting at some point to the county commissioners on the Dover ambulance issues. Basically, kind of throwing the ball into their court. Kind of just saying, look, here's the problems. We don't have solutions as individual cities. You're gonna end up with a situation in the near future where we don't have a service for most of the county. So, you county, you can look at, private public partnerships. You can look at setting up a new system. We talked about the non-emergency transport system, whatever you guys want to look at, but, and we as cities will work with you. So that's what we're gonna be presenting to the commissioners. It may be on the 19th, I believe is their next meeting, or it might be the one after that, beginning of October. So that's the update. We did move forward on that. So.
Yeah, that's great. Very good idea.
Fire department, nothing.
Nothing.
Police,
Nothing.
nothing. Maintenance,
Nothing.
nothing.
I was waiting for that one.
No, not a whole lot to report, an update on the well situation.
Well, we'll do that close session.
Basically, I told TCP, does all the control boards and all that stuff, to talk directly to our insurance adjuster. Because I was the middleman here, and I'm like, you guys need to talk to each other and figure out what's gonna be covered. But TCP, they thought they had a board and everything that they could patch us by to fix the well, so at least we could get everything running back on auto again. They can't even get the parts for it. It's the wrong board. They can't get the right board. So now they're trying to figure out a way to retro at least that to get it up and running again before the snow is gone. Otherwise, we're gonna have to move snow twice a day. Turn the well on, move it again to turn the well off in the afternoon. So if you guys have been getting reports from people that the water tower has been running over, or there's water coming out of the side of the building, that's what it is. We turn the pumps on and we just keep an eye on it throughout the day, and we shut them off at 3 o'clock or whenever it starts running over. So that's the whole situation with that. So I'm fairly confident that we're gonna get this issue figured out. It's just gonna take time. So the way it's sounding right now is insurance is, well, if we can't get the parts, what are we gonna do to get it back so it runs again? So there could be pretty much a total overhaul up there on this, so. It's all, it's a wait game. Otherwise, we've been doing a lot of locating for the fiber guys in town here. And when we get a chance here and there, we're all trying to trim up boulevards.
And did you say that sorry, had the fiber guys been out
Yeah, their new
Like,
addition's done.
knocking and doing the
Yeah.
things?
Yeah,
They're doing right now they're running the main lines.
Okay,
So basically, they're not going house to house yet. They're running the main lines, and their big thing that they want to get before freeze up is what they told us the other day, is the businesses. Get them hooked up and going because of all the outages and everything we've been having.
and they came down Main Street and talked to, they were there one day, they've got
so just businesses they had.
for, yeah.
And I think the 112 people that signed up over there, when they have those sheets, they've been trying to get them guys,
Yep.
done.
Marking out their route where they're gonna come into the backside of the house. So if you see a little pink flag in the backside of your house, if you signed up for this already, that's where they wanna come into the house with the fiber.
And then Sam has started contacting people as well, because Samford is working for them. Outside of insurance hours to sign people up.
That's what my next question was, some people have asked, where do they sign up now if they missed the meeting? It's with Sam or here?
Sam or call Clare City Telephone.
Oh, okay,
they'll get on the
okay.
list, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they've been,
Very good to work with. I mean, it's.
It's actually
Underground
moving in
crew,
pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, they have been phenomenal to work
Yep.
with.
I just wanted to ask for
yeah,
the rest of the community, and I wasn't sure of what their, process was, because I wasn't at the meeting, and I'm like, did I miss the door knock, or have they not started, or?
yeah. Now it's just time and just, they're working on the main lines, and once they start going,
I talked to the foreman on the underground crew. And he said that this is probably the most welcoming town that he's ever been in. When they started putting fiber in the ground
After
because of
that.
all the outages.
Yeah, I was gonna say after last.
Whatever you need, get it in the ground. type of deal. So he says it's been great. So that's a positive thing.
yeah, so CenturyLink has helped us out with that. But yeah,
So
And do
other
they-
than that, I don't have anything else. It's just give me an update.
I see you patched a lot of the streets, the potholes around different areas. First Avenue down there where Meadowland was complaining.
We went until we ran out.
Okay.
So that was the other thing I had. So the seal coating thing that you guys approved, move that money. The following day, I called. And we cannot get on the list for this year. Because they have the time, they can't get the oil. So then I talked to another guy from a different company, same thing. They can't get the oil. So I don't know what we want to do there. If we want to say, okay, we can't do it this year, we're gonna take that money and we're gonna earmark it for sure for next year. Or still.
Well, that's what I think makes most sense, but.
But I'm just giving you guys the update. I mean, Val was researching, I was calling people. And nobody could get the oil. They're only allowed so much oil and
I think
that's
that's
it.
gonna be the goal. I think that's happening a lot. I think the county's running into that now too. I think that's happening everywhere, so. But yeah, earmark it and use it.
Just
double
something
it next
food
year.
for thought to think on, that, I mean, I think we need to.
Yep.
Something else we
Right.
can talk about at the work session too,
now,
but
is there any other patching things that you feel need to happen this year?
the only patch that absolutely I think needs to be done, but I'll just put gravel in it, is the one on Main Street. And I've
How
been
about by the
holding,
school, the south side of the school?
no, we.
That's okay, okay.
I filled quite a bit of them, so.
Okay.
And the two bad ones that are on Eighth, I put gravel in, and it seems to be holding in there. As soon as we get some rain or something, it's gonna pop out, but. Right now, I think it's fine. I don't think. That, what was it, 47,000 did we push over? So 47 or 53, whatever it was. I think it's best spent. Earmarked to protect those.
Yeah,
right.
I think that is the smartest investment. And then those should be good for 5-6 years.
All right, anything else?
There's this is probably, I don't know if it's really maintenance or not, but down on Jeff Rackey's property there, that is that tree. It's like the second one in, right in the front between there and Marge's. And it must be dying. A lot of big branches have been falling and they're,
It's a black walnut, it's full of walnuts, is what it is.
okay, yeah, I mean, it could be, I think you're right, yeah. And I've been down there a few times and there, it's actually kind of dangerous, I think, so. It's been 3 big ones and a lot of small ones have been falling, so I don't know if it's ready to collapse or not. Just for a safety thing, I thought we should look, somebody should look into it.
Friday afternoon, I got a call from Car Tree Service because they do for Redwood Electric. And they're gonna come in and clean some stuff up on the backside and that, and now I'm kind of curious to see where it lands.
Okay,
Like, will they help take care of the issue
yeah,
without us having to do anything
right, yeah,
or not?
Yep.
So I'm kind of,
Our problem is either we gotta deem it the nuisance side of it,
yep,
to go that way with it, or they're gonna have to call, it's out of the right of way, is what I'm.
right, no, exactly, no, I
He's
agree.
been sent a nuisance letter
Yeah,
this year
yeah.
already, or. But now, Matt, maybe you can answer this because my belief is when there's a tree close to a property line. And even if it's on this property and branches fall onto the neighbor's property, that's the neighbor's responsibility, right?
One of them was shedding his.
Insurance and liability wise, I believe it's their responsibility.
So if it's on A's, if the tree is on A's property
Yep,
and it falls on B's property, A is responsible for it. It's their tree. Now, B has the right to trim the tree back to the property line is usually how it goes. But it's A's tree, so. You know, I would think that now, that said, insurance might do things differently. A and B's insurance might.
because I was basically told if it falls on your property, it's your
I
responsibility.
don't know that that's necessarily. the case.
Okay,
So if that tree is on that property that nobody lives in.
Mhm.
And it fell on Marge's stuff. If we go in there and just pick up the branches, clean up the mess and get rid of the widowmakers. Then that could get pushed onto the,
I mean, I would say that's the responsibility of the person whose tree is.
I mean, get put on the tax.
yeah, yeah.
So that would be another way that we could handle that issue, because I mean. Guys have to do some measuring and stuff too, because I have no clue where that's.
And the other side of it is, I did talk to Gene Price about it. And we're 1 year into the non-payment of taxes, so. That's the route that will end up going, I'm sure.
yeah.
So what do you want us to do with it then? He brought up those trees. Which way do we go with this?
I kind of think we have to take it and fix it,
Because
because,
there's some bunch hanging there. I mean,
Yeah,
there
yeah.
is. He's got holes out and everything.
oh, yeah, no,
It's
it's,
the only reason I haven't done anything, because it's out of the right of way and it gets squirrely on who's responsible for all this stuff.
Yeah, I guess, we went and cleaned that other one up. And at some point you just gotta take, but that whole lot needs some attention at some point too, but.
So
But yeah, I guess I would say to
at least make it
clean
safe.
that, yeah. Make it safe and
We can do that tomorrow. We can make it.
When did they get the nuisance letter?
wow, last month.
We probably said.
Yeah,
By this date, then the city will take action. Yeah. Then you're probably okay.
and then just keep track of the expenses and
Yeah.
get it filed on the taxes like all the other stuff, so. All right, somebody wanna make a motion to approve the maintenance report?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Or accepted. Administration EDA.
Okay, so we've been working on a few different things this month. Had a good talk with the people that own Valley View Manor as far as assisted living and exploring options with them. Had a good talk with somebody that might be buying the Valley View Apartments. sounds like they have been doing background checks and stuff for people moving in there, so they must have upped their game a little bit differently than had been in the past, so that was good to hear. Safe routes to schools, we got that boost grant, we are going to also have the safe routes to school study done, and that's through people in Slayton and the people in Marshall, so that the cost will get covered by that. That's gonna happen on the 20th. So we'll go through and see what we identify as problem areas and start looking at what we need to do for when the new school is up and open. Had somebody meet with Sandy as far as the front of the music park goes, as far as a renter of a business to go in there. That sounds promising for after the first of the year. Been training Chris, she's doing great. Working on a credit card option for utility bills. There's an architect coming on September 25th to look at certain parts of the school. I gave them the comprehensive plan that Red Rock had done. But there's certain parts of it, they're just not sure how it melds together, and they just want to come to physically see it. So they will be coming on the 25th. Mosey along.
Do you got any questions or comments or anything more? Somebody want to make a motion to approve that report?
Oh, go ahead.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, I can second it. How is that?
Motion and a second.
Lovely.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye opposed, motion carries. Ordinances and resolutions. Got the 2023-28 resolution accepting donations, city of Lamberton. And then let's do that one.
Make a motion. Do that.
Second.
A motion and a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Donations accepted. We've got financial report and approval of claims for August 2023, financial report and the approval of claims.
I'll make a motion to.
Second it.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Mayor and council reports and communications, information for the council, budget.
I was planning to have budget stuff to you guys today, but I was out sick, so I didn't get it done today. So by Wednesday, I should have it good to go.
Current school campus.
Kind of went over that, so.
Okay. Next meeting dates is the work. Okay, go ahead.
We talked about it EDA, but that I am going to partake in the SRDC. So I'll be a commissioner for the municipalities for Redwood County for the SRDC.
SRDC stands for
Southwest Regional Development Commission.
One or two, yeah. They're the
Yeah.
ones helping us with the safety grant.
anything
I'm
else?
very grateful that she's doing that.
So we have our first meeting on Thursday, and so according to their bylaws and things, that the things I learned there and we talk about and go over, that I'm supposed to bring back to our council meetings and share with you guys.
Good.
Sounds good.
Hopefully make some good connections and learn some good things, so
Anything else?
that was all.
Next meeting dates, work session is September 18th at 5:15. And then the regular council meeting is October 10th at 2023 at 6:30. And we will end up having a special meeting to adopt the preliminary budget before the end of September. which will be posted when we decide that. And then we are gonna go into,
Actually, before we do that, just real quick,
Okay.
there's one more thing just to
Yep.
clarify for you. So, a while back, I think this was May or June, we approved a resolution for the annexation of those parcels. But there were some errors in the legal descriptions. And so I don't know that we need a new resolution, new ordinance on that, but, we can either do a new ordinance to approve the updated one or just say, for that to be the correct bits, but you want to make a quick motion on that.
Okay.
We'll get those updated. Then we can move forward on the end.
I'll make a motion to correct those. The legal prescriptions on those.
I'll second that.
got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. By opposed? Motion carries. And then we will be going into a closed session for an HR human resources discussion.